Welcome along, fellow time travelers. This time around, I'm going to show you a place called Michie Tavern. It's located right down the road from Thomas Jefferson's Monticello. Before I begin, please like and share the show and subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell. Now let's begin our journey. This is my kind of joint. I love places like this. It's called Michie Tavern. It's located in Albemarle County, Virginia, and it stands as a historic landmark with a rich history dating back to 1784. It was founded by a Scotsman named William Michie, and it had long been a cornerstone of community life. It offered travelers food and drink and lodging in the heart of the Virginia countryside. The story actually begins with a gentleman named Major John Henry who, in 1746, sold land to John Michie. John's son William inherited this land and decided to capitalize on the frequent visitors seeking respite. And so in 1784, William acquired a license to operate an ordinary, as they used to call it, and this transformed his home into a tavern, inn, and a restaurant. And it quickly became a social hub, drawing in locals and travelers alike. The tavern remained under Michie family ownership until 1910, when it was transferred to the Commonwealth of Virginia due to the inability of the last family member, that was Sally Michie, to manage the business. The property then saw a significant change in 1927 when it was purchased by Josephine Henderson. She moved the structure 17 miles from Earlysville to a new location near Monticello. You see, she was motivated by her desire to showcase her extensive collection of antiques and to be near Monticello so she can bring in some tourists. In January of 2024, the Thomas Jefferson Foundation acquired Michie Tavern, outsourcing its operations to manage and preserve this historical gem. And you can go there today, where it maintains the ambiance of an 18th century inn, complete with a pub and several themed shops. There's a general store, there's a tavern shop, there is a metalsmith shop, and lots of other cool stuff surrounding the main building. Now, in case you're wondering, Thomas Jefferson never visited Michie Tavern because it wasn't located near Monticello during his lifetime. Remember, it was only moved there in 1927. But it does seem like the sort of place that would be there. Now check this out. Had it been there, if Thomas Jefferson was to travel from the vicinity of where Michie Tavern now stands to his home, Monticello, the journey would likely have taken between 1 to 1.5 hours. With conditions potentially extending this time further, this travel would have been considered a short trip by 18th century standards, but still quite an endeavor given the period's transportation limitations. Today, however, it's probably about a 5-minute drive. Taverns were a big deal in Thomas Jefferson's time. They served as the primary social hubs in both urban and rural areas. They were places where people from all walks of life could gather to socialize, share news, and engage in community activities. For Jefferson, taverns were venues for meeting friends, acquaintances, and sometimes political allies. They were informal settings where the exchange of ideas was as common as the sharing of a meal or a drink. In an era without mass media, taverns were critical for political discourse. Jefferson often used taverns for informal meetings, discussions, or planning sessions. For example, the Raleigh Tavern in Williamsburg was famous for hosting gatherings where revolutionary ideas were discussed. When traveling, Thomas Jefferson would frequently stop at taverns like this. Remember, roads were poor and travel was slow and arduous, making taverns necessary for rest, refreshment, and overnight stays. Taverns not only offered a bed for the night, but also stables for horses, making them essential nodes in the Colonial transportation network. Taverns, of course, were also known for their food and drink. Jefferson, with his noted interest in food and wine, would have appreciated the communal meals, local ales, ciders, and perhaps even the occasional imported wines. These establishments often had public dining rooms where one could enjoy a meal, sometimes with entertainment like music or storytelling, enhancing the social experience. Many transactions and business dealings took place in taverns. They functioned as informal offices where deals could be struck over a drink. You can imagine Jefferson himself would have used them for such purposes when away from Monticello or when hosting business in Charlottesville. Taverns were indeed melting pots where different cultures and ideas and people mixed. This environment was conducive to Jefferson's broad interest in science, agriculture, law, and philosophy. In places like this, he could discuss Enlightenment ideas, learn about new farming techniques, or simply enjoy the company of diverse individuals. And so yeah, while Jefferson never did visit Michie Tavern, he was deeply embedded in the tavern culture of his time. Taverns were not just places for drinking, but were vital components of 18th century social life, offering spaces for community, politics, travel respite, dining, and cultural exchange. They were integral to how information was disseminated and how social and political networks were maintained and expanded. So, what do you think of Michie Tavern or taverns in general? Have you ever spent any time hanging out at the local tavern? Everyone needs a third place, right? You got home, you got work, and then you got that third place, which, way back when, and sometimes today, there is the local tavern. Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Kindly remember to like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell because there will be more videos like this one, and I hope you check those out too. Please check out the links below to learn how to support my research and productions. This channel is sponsored by CampfireShop.com, where you can order candles, herbal supplements, teas, and more. I would also appreciate it if you could become a member of this channel and or join me on Patreon, where you can watch exclusive walk-in tours of cool places that I've been to. You could also leave a super thanks in the comments below. Kindly be kind to all of our fellow Earthlings and please do not harm them. And do yourself a favor and go to a local shelter and adopt a cat or a dog or both. You and they will be very glad that you did. Until next time, I wish you safe travels on all your journeys.